Hey there, welcome back to the Sims resource. Today we're going to be doing a tiny home speed build, which is actually like my second time ever building a tiny home. My first time was like 2 or 3 years ago when that pack first came out, and I just kind of attempted it, and it was basically just a little box. So I wanted to try and redeem myself. It's a tiny home, it's not a micro home, because I wanted to try a micro home and then very quickly went over the tile limit and just kind of figured tiny home sounded more reasonable. I know I've seen people do the micro homes for families, and one day maybe I'll be that powerful, but as you can see, I think I broke the tile limit pretty fast. So I just went up to 64 tiles, which I think is a much more reasonable tile number. Anyway, here I am. The most important thing about building a tiny home is that you playtest it, so I highly recommend not doing it from like map mode and like moving a family in, even if it's just a temporary family, and just kind of waiting it out and making sure that, Sims can get to bed, Sims can use the kitchen, Sims can climb the ladder to get upstairs, etc. I guess I could have made it a ranch style house, but I'm really not good at that for some reason. I don't know, man. Even in real life sometimes I'm like, I think ranch style houses are very long sometimes to look at, and it bothers me. It's a really dumb complaint I have about ranch houses, but this is what you come to this YouTube channel for, my hot takes on things that don't matter. Anyway, here I am just adding on a second floor. I'm bumping it out a little bit just because I had the space to, and why not, And yep, just adding in some lights before I go back in and add the ladder to the upstairs because I wasn't really sure where I wanted to put things or how I wanted to lay it out. At first I was actually thinking that the bedrooms could be downstairs and the living area could be upstairs, but then I was like, that's not super convenient for anybody in general. I don't know. I know a lot of houses are actually split like that, but when I was building, I just didn't feel the vibes. So I moved all the bedrooms upstairs. The layout is not the best because I had a very limited amount of tiles to work with, and it's my second time, so also pardon if you hear my voice. I have a very sore throat right now, and I know I sound kind of silly. But I figured, you know what, I feel well enough to do a build, so let's build and let's do some narration. I'll probably have to jack the audio up on this, like 20% or something insane, because I am a little bit sick. Anyway, here I am just kind of, dividing up the bedrooms. I was really not sure how I was going to do the parent bedroom because it just looks like, I don't know, having to walk through someone else's bedroom to get to your bedroom for the kids is a real inconvenient thing for me. It's one of those things where it's like, even if I'm like looking at it, like, like sometimes we'll be watching HGTV and they'll be like, yeah, there's only one bathroom in this like condo or apartment and you have to go through the bedroom to get to it. I'm like, I hate that because it means your bedroom always has to be clean because guests are going to see it. And I guess that like these aren't guests, but it's still upsetting to me. Again, it's a first world problem, but I couldn't avoid it here. But I guess, again, at least they're not guests. At least they live here, so that's fine. Yeah, there's not going to be a lot of room for storage in this build. I actually ended up using a lot of the Dream Home Decorator, like shelving and stuff, to make it all workable, and so that there could be a dresser of some kind, because otherwise it really would have been an issue. I added a little Bigfoot toy for the kids. I didn't want to make the kids' room too, I guess, cramped, so I didn't want to add a whole dresser. I just added a desk and a little chair for homework purposes and, whatever else. So I put a computer there, and then I was like, no, because I don't think the only computer should be in the kids' room. That just doesn't feel right. And then I thought I was going to add one downstairs, and I totally didn't. So this is a computerless household, so I guess if you want to buy one and add it, you'd have to put it in the yard. That's fine. This is a really small lot I'm building on too. It's a 20 by 15 lot, which I actually prefer to some in some circumstances, because I really don't love having a lot of landscaping to do, and the houses I build are like never big enough to fill the really, really big lots. They always kind of feel empty and spooky, and I don't like feeling spooked, so I like the little lots. The one problem with tiny lots like this is when you have a sim who has a lot of outdoor like hobbies or like necessary activities, like the ones who have to build a rocket for their jobs. That's when it becomes a little bit of an issue because they want to have like other outdoor space, and then I can't. Anyway, here I'm just adding windows. I think I added too many, honestly, for like the amount of space in this house, but I just like a lot of natural light. My current place is just really dark after like 2:30 p.m. because I'm on the east side of the building, and there's another building next door that blocks any light like once the sun moves over. So it is really dark in here a lot, and so I'm living out my fantasy in The Sims of having natural light come and help me out. You know, The Sims is a game about wish fulfillment, and my wish is a little bit of natural light in the afternoon. Anyway, here I am just putting on the roofs. I think I've been a lot better at roofing. Unless you think I haven't. Please don't leave a mean comment about how I'm really bad at roofing. But I feel better about how I roof. I don't know, when I first started playing The Sims 4 all those years ago, I was like, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. My houses all look very silly. And now I'm like, this house looks like a house. Which doesn't seem like a high compliment, but it really is for me, because it didn't used to look like a house. It used to look really strange without the full roof, making it look like one. And then here is just, you know, I don't know if you've probably seen it, but the hack to get yourself a really nice pathway is take some tile, outline where you want the path to go, and then just take your little spray, your terrain tool, your little spray tool, and spray in that area to fill it in. Try to be careful, because I can't always remember, but I'm pretty sure not all, like the tiles don't entirely block off the spray from getting under them, which I really wish they did. They may have at one point, but I don't know if they do anymore. But they just provide a really good guide, so I just use the big square tool, and that's how I make my patios look, or my pathways look kind of nice. So yeah, here is just me adding some pathways. I don't know, it's actually funny that I got into landscaping, because normally I put it until absolute last. I don't know why, it stresses me out a little bit, man, I'm not even gonna lie. I just get a little bit like, you want me to build a whole thing? Like, jeez. But here I am just trying to make it look like I have a lot of I have some nice bushes without looking like there's 18 bajillion bushes in one spot. And yep, I ended up giving up and having many less bushes than I originally intended, which is fine. Here I think I'm about to start doing the patio. I like having patios in my Sims houses, though I will say I added a grill. And typically if I play in a house with a grill, I will delete it, because I can't stand how like The Sims, even when it's like snowing or like raining, will just go outside and cook on the grill. It drives me up a wall, and like I don't know why they always want to be doing that, and then they'll like leave the plate outside in the rain, and I'm like, please just take it inside. You don't need to do this to yourselves, like I promise. But they do. I also added a little planter out here. Fun fact, these little fences don't create a room as long as they're not connected to the foundation, so I did not lose tiles there. So, you know, little tiny home tip for you there. And here I am just adding in, this is a little professionalism tip if you want your builds to look really nice, is just add a little bit of dirt underneath where the trees grow and under swing sets, because, you know, when people are swinging, they tend to drag their feet there, or in my parents' case, we had like AstroTurf under the swing set because they were afraid if we ever fell off, we'd like hurt ourselves. So they just got like AstroTurf to put underneath it. But I'm just using dirt because it's The Sims. Anyway, I added a wind chime, and then I thought about adding a bunch of other activities to do outside, but I kind of looked at the tiny little yard, and it was like, there's not enough space to add a whole area, so I just added a sitting area, which is actually really nice. I don't know, it's funny, because as a kid I was like, why do we need all these couches out in the patio? And now as an adult, I'm like, oh my god, I would kill for a patio with like a couch so I could go sit outside and not have to sit inside all the time, or like go out in public to sit outside. It's a luxury I didn't know I had until it was gone. Anyway, I'm just looking for an outdoor rug. Fun, I don't know, someone recently was like, they make rugs for outside. Yes, they actually do. And they're like waterproof, because obviously rain. It's just a funny conversation, because I was like, I didn't know, people didn't realize that this existed, so that's a fun fact for you. Welcome to the party, I guess, for outdoor rugs. They're fun, and I think they help kind of make a space feel more cohesive, even if it's an outdoor space. And also I'm adding a little side table, because, come on, you're probably having a drink or a book or a laptop or something out there with you if you're sitting outside on a sunny day. Which is funny, because I'm furnishing this house in spring in-game, which is really silly. I'm also adding wallpaper before I finish furnishing, which is crazy for me, because normally I wait until the absolute last minute to wallpaper things, but I was just feeling it. So I added some, I think it's called wainscoting. That's what the wallpaper is called, and I vaguely know what it is because I watch a lot of interior design videos, but I also live in a rental, so I can't like do it myself. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I thought it looked really nice. Also has paneling, and paneling is one of my favorite, I guess, house details. Though I will say that if you get light colored paneling, which most people do, just be careful, because any kind of a stain or impact with the wall from like a pet or a kid or you tripping will definitely be very visible. So heads up. I had a little TV on the console. I blocked the window, but I don't really care, honestly. I think my Sims will be alright. In real life, it'd be more inconvenient to be like, let me block the window with the TV, but I mean, I think people do it in real life too, so I don't feel that bad. Ended up moving it over a little bit too, just to make sure my Sims could get in and out of the house more easily. I sort of regret making that huge entrance like walkway because it just takes up so much space. Like, I love that door from the Seasons pack, but it just takes up an absolute huge amount of space. And oh, here's the wainscoting. I actually didn't use it in the bedrooms. I went to like a regular paint color, just light, airy pastels, because, oh, maybe I left it up in here. No, yeah, now I changed it. Just because I wanted a little bit of something different, and I couldn't find a color I liked for the kids' room. Here I'm just adding some hanging stuff. I'm a little bit annoyed that you can't find the actual hanging shelf part like in the dresser section. You have to go and search for the name or look for shelving when the clothing is in the dresser section, because it'd be easier if I could all find it in one place. But minor complaint, I ended up hanging it over the bed because I didn't want it to interfere with the routing of the Sims. And then I'm just adding a little piece of art on the wall, and I think one more piece of art on this wall. Maybe I gave up, actually, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, no, I found one piece of art to put up. And I just want to overwhelm the wall, so I just didn't put up a ton of art. I didn't think I put up any down here just because it felt like it was going to be overcrowding, but I think it all worked out. I added a little cabinet over the fridge, so there's a little bit of space for storage. I wanted to try a bunch of cabinets, but then it felt like that'd be overwhelming, so I decided to. And yeah, I think we're pretty much done. I just wanted to make sure that my Sims could get to their beds, and here we are. That's the finished build. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.